Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Chris Checks Out. And we're checking out Checklist Pro again. So today's date is November 14th, 2025. And I would like to welcome back Ty Roach to the stage here to show us some of the new things that have come out related to Checklist Pro. And I believe there's also some other company updates and stuff. So, Ty, welcome back.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for joining us again. So, just recap for anybody that's a new viewer. Who are you? What do you do? Talk about your company.
Sure. So my name is Ty Roach. I'm the CEO of Tiger LLC. We are a build partner with ServiceNow since 2019, and our app Checklist Pro is actually the fourth rated app in the ServiceNow App Store. It's been in there
Nice.
since 2019, and it was great showing your audience, Chris. What Checklist Pro did, installing it, and I think we're just going to pick it up from there.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to pick up some new features. So remember, you can go back into the LinkedIn history or see on YouTube and watch that first episode. We took it from a brand new install, a fresh instance, installed it, configured it, and actually got some functionality done in 30 minutes. So that speaks to not just the power of ServiceNow itself, but also how great this app is. And that's congratulations on the top four. That's
Yeah,
incredible and well deserved.
thank you, thank you.
So what's been happening since the last time we spoke, and which
Yeah.
was in July, I believe,
It
right?
was in July,
Yeah.
and hard to believe we're mid-November. But several, I think, interesting things that have happened from my perspective is we've actually founded a second company that's called Checklist Pro LLC, and it's geared at providing customizations and professional services to our customers and to our partners to assist with that and for training. Um, we have a partner program with Tiger has a partner program, but uh, just logistically, really, and from frankly an accounting perspective, it made good sense for us to say, because Tiger also does other general ServiceNow professional services besides being a build partner. But Checklist Pro, it will be specifically tracking those kind of hours for our customers, for our partners. Maybe we do some custom builds. So that was a big thing that happened. We got that company up and going in August. You might notice some new branding with us, where we've
Hmm.
made some initiatives in the sales and marketing side of our team, growing there. New website is on the way with some new domains, some go-to-market strategies, things that I'm less familiar with because I'm a developer type, and I just finally decided that it's really time to get serious about this and bringing in some real pros to help with that. And along the way, also, if we have time at the end, we
Hmm.
do have a major release coming. I believe I'm hoping that we will be in the store with our 4.0 release in December, and so that will introduce some new data types. We've got a growing list there, and of course, when we build things with our checklist, uh, one of the things that we think makes it worthwhile is that we build one checklist configuration, and you'll work in all the UIs, like
Right.
the Jelly based classic forms, or the Angular based employee center and service portal, or the workspace UIs, the web components. So one configuration, we handle all that heavy lifting for you on the UI side, makes developers lives easier, we think. So we're excited about that, all those things going on.
Oh, that's great. Well, congratulations on the new company and starting all that. I know that journey can be long and foreign because I am also not that experienced in it as well. But so great job. And so let's pick up where we left off. So
Okay.
when we left off in the last episode, we were going through an onboarding scenario where there was some shared approvals with the checklist, and also we were showing that you can conditionally show or hide checklist items. And some of the feature reviews that we'll talk about today are adding a conditionally required item, adding validation logic to some checklist items, being able to save as a PDF. This one's one of my favorites, spoiler alert. And then what's with the button conditions? Not sure what that one means, but I'm curious to find out. So stick with us on that. So let's dive in if you're ready and start sharing the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, what I'll do, Chris, thanks for that setup there. But yeah, just to get everybody, we've already built. I'll just show here. The last time we were together, as Chris said, we built a couple of checklists, we did the installation and all these configurations. So I'm going to just run us through this onboard, which utilizes a group approval and a checklist
Mhm.
group approval.
Right. And
So
this is a service catalog item for all of you out there. So it's a pre-built one that we already had. If you have an existing service catalog item out there with an approval, you can connect Checklist Pro directly into your existing functionality.
right. So this is a pretty simple onboard. You probably won't ever see an onboard this simple, but it's just to kind of get this ball rolling, the flow designer workflow behind it. And I did a little helper for me to just know who's in this group approval, so I can go over here to my Edge screen, and I'm going to impersonate Ashley there because she should have an approval now. And let's just go over to the service portal and refresh off of and so there she is. So she's got this new employee on board. I think it's this one. So, okay, so there we have it. We have these, this is what we did the last time, right? We have a checklist on a group approval, meaning there's other people in this group that are looking at this same checklist. And we showed that the whole idea of like these group approvals is as each start to change something, everybody's singing off the same sheet of music. They all see the same checklist, right, changing there. So one of the things, so let's just jump into some of the things. We're going to pick this up like kind of live and talk about some of those features and that you had mentioned that I thought, hey, this would be also really good for people to see and code ways to make something, hide something on our checklist based on values that you have on the record or on the checklist itself, make something required and do some validation rules. So
okay, can I ask you to zoom in a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
How's that? Is that better?
That's much better. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the first scenario? Are we going to show or hide something based on a record value or a checklist value?
I think we're going to show since the approval request is pretty, vanilla, you don't really, this is actually also one of the things I kind of like about the checklist on the approval is it kind of gives context of what exactly are you approving. You can look at this and see, okay, this is a new employee approval. All of this is, customizable, and we put some items that we want our approvers to have their input on, and that they might know. So let's go back over here. Here is our approval user. That's what we're looking at for Ashley. And so we're going to go ahead down here to this hide or read only, and we're going to add something here. So I'm like jumping back and forth a little bit, but we're going to do something based on this security clearance. And we're going to just say, let's hide if the checklist is the top level security, like TS, what is it, TS space / SCI. That's actually a thing. So we'll just save this. And we're going to say, well, if these conditions are met, if the choice that we made for the clearance level is TS/SCI, let's just say the affected item of our action, which was hide, we want it to, not allow telework, okay? Because, and I probably didn't show this before, but like today, you have your, your teleworks as part of your onboarding, and right, that can just appear like this, and it clears things out. But now we just added something. Oops, I said top TS/SCI. So now that goes away. So that, because I don't think we want people teleworking if they are in this TS/SCI. In fact, I would say if you're TS/SCI, I think your office needs to be in the SCIF.
Yeah, I was just going to say, no one has a SCIF in their house that I know of.
Wow, that'd be wow, that would be
Right.
one heck of a house. Real safe house. But yeah, let's make this SCIF required for a TS/SCI. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I'll go slow here so you guys, I don't rush by it, but look, we're just going to I'm going to just use the fact that I'm already on this TS/SCI. I'm going to say required, and I'm going to say insert and stay. So if our choice value is equal to, we pick this equal to value right here. If it's equal to this parameter, TS/SCI, then we're going to make it required. What are we going to make required? We're going to make office need office in a SCIF. So it's looking up to see what's out there. And so now we'll come back over here to Ashley and I'll refresh. So there you can kind of
Yeah.
see it, and you'll just see if you choose some of the other ones, it comes back, right? And we could do, I thought we'd just do one more thing just for fun because like
Hmm.
one of the options, I was thinking about this, one of these options is, you know, no clearance. Um, let's just say, well, if you don't have a clearance, why you need a date cleared by, right? Just,
Right.
well, and we can just hide that too. So we'll come over here and we'll say, let's say hide if it's no clearance. If I can spell it, clearance, I think that's how we did it. I'll say insert and stay. And then, we can pick more than one. Like I'm just picking one of these items because
Yeah, that's a good
uh,
example. No, it's really
let's just
good.
say date needed by that. And I'll come back over here. And now let's just pick a different one so we can just have this ready. Let's refresh. So here it is. And now if we say no clearance, okay, so that got rid of.
Right.
So these are, Chris, these are things that actually get used fairly well by, uh, you know, our customers
Hmm.
and our partners for building solutions. And what we always liked about it, and I mentioned in the opening, dialogue, was that it's no code, so you can have not a lesser skilled technical person build these things that might know
Hmm.
a lot about the business function going on
Yeah.
here. And combined with what we saw in your first episode, the easy HTML editor, if you can build a bulleted list using our
Yeah.
HTML editor, it's just that easy to build this checklist. And we did that the last time and changed the data types. And we didn't show this, but we have an AI integration that you can just say, hey,
Really?
build me a checklist for new employees. And then it gives you something, and then you can mod it from there. It's kind of nice and fun. And we've actually did some recent videos on that within the
Hmm.
IRM GRC space, where we just said, hey, given this control record that's X, Y, and Z characteristics, build us a checklist for this, and it did it live. We did all that.
Okay.
Um,
You'll have to send me those links so I can throw them in the
oh,
description
yeah, I
of
will.
this one. Yeah, after we post. So this is all great. So we've covered the conditionally required item. Did we cover the adding validation logic to some checklist
Okay,
items use
thanks for that.
case?
Yeah, let's do that next. So let's go. Good call. So this is this hide and read only, and then it does actually hide, read only, and required. All those controls are under that
Hmm.
related list. We have this validation related list too, and so not all your Checklist Pro data types can be validated. And some of this is we're kind of like just keeping the aperture very narrow, and then we'll
Hmm.
expand as we think is appropriate. Like I didn't think it was necessary to do a validation on a checkbox, for instance.
Right. That's fair.
But certain things like a string, a text box field,
Hmm.
yes, validations. A date field, yes, and that's what I think we're going to do. We're going to say date clearance needed by, and we have this just like hide and read only. We have a lot of pre-built actions. Same goes for our validation. Like this is a date field, so it doesn't make sense really to say, hey, it's a valid email address, and you put your email address regular expression in the parameter. That doesn't make sense. But
Yeah.
this one down here, within X months, and we could say, hey, let's just say within say 3 months, and we'll
Okay.
just our error message. If it's not that, we'll say must complete uh, clearance background check within 3 months. I mean, maybe that's not reasonable. Maybe that's not something that you can just dictate, but
Hmm.
it's illustrative of what we're trying to solve here, or something that you can do. So if we come in here, actually, so we're not showing it. Let's just go public trust. We see it. Oh, now we got the error because we don't have a value. When do you need
Okay.
it? And if you went in the past, it's going to say, yeah, good luck with that. But if you go into
Right.
the future, it's all good. And then
Okay.
let's go past 3 months. So what is today? The 14th. Okay, so that's good. But then the 15th. Okay, so we start to edge out past a 3 month period, and then all of
Hmm.
a sudden it's going to say, um, we want it done within 3 months.
Right.
It's just an example. And there's other, like, just I think I saw one other one we could do real quick if we wanted. It's a little bit silly one, but like if we wanted to say uh, on a weekday, right? And we could just update this just to show you. If I did this the 15th, if I did the 16th, okay, that's a weekday. But if it's on the weekend, the 15th, I could probably change the error message. But you get the idea. And
Right.
just like
So, question about that before you move on. How does that work? Does that tie into a schedule or
no, so
is it
what it is, so really behind the scenes is with every one of these, you'll notice it's actually with all of our checklist items, you set the value and for certain things like text boxes and like date pickers and stuff like that. Once you change focus from that field, it executes something. It's actually persisting your information. So you don't actually ever have
Mhm.
to click save with the Checklist Pro. It
Oh, cool.
remembers it, and
Yeah.
that triggers like validation rules. Like for instance, and you know this, we did this before. Like if we try to
Mhm.
approve this, I,
Right.
it's doing validity checks because what's the point of
Right.
having the validation if it's not going to enforce it, right? So it's
That's right. And you always want to have as much client side validation as possible,
exactly.
so that the data is groomed as much as possible before it goes into the process. Okay, no, that's really great.
Yeah.
Anything else to cover on the validation logic?
No, other than I think to say that we have our own list. Our customers always and partners can sometimes suggest, "Hey, it'd be nice if you did this."
Hmm.
But every customer and partner can build their own. Like, and what would
Hmm.
happen then, and that's a little bit more advanced. I mean, we're taking advantage of ServiceNow platform for partner type capabilities where you can do. There's a technique called extension points if you're building scoped apps, and some of
Yep.
us, and that might be a future discussion there for that might be because that's a thing in the ServiceNow world, and it lets you, being in the scoped app, extend out some customizations, and we take advantage of that. And so you can start to do some really powerful things like build your own validation logic, build your own hide or read only rules.
Oh, wow.
And I don't, we don't even know. It might be some business case that you just do it, and it would then appear a lot right in that long list. It would just automatically add it for you. So
Oh, that's very cool. Okay. Sorry to rush you into this one, but this is the one I'm super excited about to see the save as PDF capability on these. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, we can move
yeah,
this
let's just
along.
okay. What I got to do? I got to do.
Yeah,
Okay, this thing right.
you're too
Let's
far. Too
let's
far.
push this on to the catalog task that comes next, and
Okay.
we'll take a look at that. So I think from there, this is going over to this goes to Beth. So now, if I'm over here as Beth, of course, you have. Whoops, where's my? Here we go. If I go my group work and this one set up John Doe. So they have again their checklists and stuff like this. I'll just start clicking a few things because we're talking. To see this little button over here, Chris, the save as.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of off there. And by the way, again, it's on all the UIs for us. But if I just were to say pick some values here, let's just get a couple. I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing.
That's fine. Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
click this, and there it just created this PDF, and there you have it.
Oh, wow.
So
And it uploads that to the record itself.
yeah, it'll attach it.
That's
So like
cool.
right there. So it's just whatever record you're on, it'll put it there. If you need to move it, of course you can move it.
Right.
I think one other thing that I maybe didn't mention to you, but I'd like to show it if you're interested, is just there's so PDF is one thing. This is just actually fairly
Hmm.
simple. We're using ServiceNow's APIs to generate the PDF out of our check.
Hmm.
And it's just like I said, there maybe for records management, you need to keep this stuff or see point
Yep.
in time, progress, who knows what.
Yeah.
What I think is also pretty powerful that we have is so there's also fillable PDFs, right? And I got an example I'd like to show you if we have time for that.
Sure. Just one of the big use cases I see for this PDF feature that I wanted to highlight is those attestation
Yeah.
tasks that you have to do where you're going through and checking all of these things, attesting that you've done all of this stuff, and then you need it outside of ServiceNow in a record where you can just throw it into this PDF and then perhaps you could build automation to send it out to the auditor or to export it into a master list. So that's one of the use cases that's top of mind right now for me as I've got a client going through that.
Oh,
So yes, let's go on to the next thing you want to showcase. This is a bit of a bonus one, or the what's with the button conditions.
Oh,
Is
what's
that?
with the button? Okay, good.
Yeah, and then we'll do your others. Yeah,
Okay,
we got time.
so we have a bunch of so to set this up, Chris, we have these pre-built solutions that cover all kinds of things like data governance, pre-built checklists, you name it. And it's just a growing list. They're free. We give away as update sets to our customers if they're
Mm-hmm.
interested. And I'll show you one that's very popular. So
Sure.
it's a group member management data stewardship utility. So I'm going to go to schedule jobs
Mm-hmm.
and just talk to this as we go. Schedule jobs, and I'm going to run it. So we have a couple out here. So we have our CLP group member management. I'm just going to fire this up real quick. Let it rip. Execute now. And so what that did was this created. So imagine this: like one thing that every customer has in common. You've got you've got users and you've got groups, and we're giving you a tool with Checklist Pro that says, let's do some governance and controls around group member management. Like, let's let the group manager periodically, whatever frequency you want, present them a checklist of all the users in the group with the group name as a
Mm-hmm.
checklist, and then they could say, "Yep, check. They're all checked," or "No, this person's not there. Uncheck them and add people." That's where the button comes in. So I'm going to show you
Okay.
that. Okay, we're Beth Anglin, so let's go back to being Beth Anglin. Are we still Beth? Yeah. So let's go over to let's go back here and let's go. Actually, let's do workspace here for a second. Can I do this in workspace? Let's do that is a CLP my open. Is it in there? Yeah. So Beth, actually, let me see hers in here. I thought here it is, right
Oh,
here.
the second one. Yeah.
So Beth has this checklist. So these are her, these are, the people that are in actually. So let's go over here. This is which group? Oops, it's which one is this? Service desk group. So if I come over here, service desk group, here's the three members, Beth, David, and the ITIL user, and so that comports with what we're seeing here. And so
Mm-hmm.
she could pick, like she could say, well, wait a minute, I don't want this ITIL user. That's a fake person. I don't want that. I want Jimmy something or other.
Yep.
We add, and so Jimmy suddenly appears in the list.
Oh, cool.
And you could keep going, right? You could just say, Jewel,
Mm-hmm.
add. Okay, so
And does it track who adds?
yeah. So
Okay. So I
exactly.
could see that Beth added this approver.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because that would solve a huge struggle I see a lot of clients have, and that's the ad hoc trackable approval problem. I need to add somebody as an approver to this license or to this change request record. So you can now use Checklist Pro to solve for that in an auditable way. Now we got to back up a bit, Ty. So I'm just going to interrupt. We got a question
Oh,
from Mary Hunter. So do updates to these checklists work like out of the box checklists that updates the history on the record for every completion and potential deletion?
yeah. So I think I'm not quite sure I follow. I might be
Yeah.
answering.
So the audit log, I think that's what she's getting at.
Yeah. So we have so all our checklist is it's its own table, and it's a checklist. So the data is all in there, and we know what record it's associated with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that we can do, and I don't think this is quite what she was asking. So it's there. It's in its own table, and if for instance, if we're doing things with journaling type fields like, hey, notes, or if you're doing things with like work notes, we have a configuration setting that you can, as you change something, you can say, hey, if the parent record has this work notes field, and we have our own journal entry too, like you'll see
Mm-hmm.
here's a journal entry.
Right.
So,
Right.
hello world. And if I post it,
Oh, well, let's go back to sharing. Okay,
oh,
go ahead.
I just say
Go.
hello world, and she said
Yeah.
hello world and say hello again. This is our journaling field, but what we could do
Right.
configuration is every time you change something, if this would like this is just a CLP record, which is
Mm-hmm.
anybody, but you could have a CLP record have a parent of like a task record, and we have a configuration that will say, hey, let's take, history type information out of Checklist Pro and put it into a parent record's history. It's not quite like the audit
No,
record.
that would add it to the journal log. Yeah, and then you'd see it in the audit log.
Yeah, so I hope but that's really what it is. It's an interesting question. You could turn auditing on Checklist Pro table. I mean, you could.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
right.
I've never done it, but like that was what was thinking. My thinking, and I know we have some
Yeah.
customers that have done what I just described.
Great. So right now, yeah, you could turn auditing on. You've got your journal entry piece that would throw that in as a work note, and then perhaps that could come in a future feature or a future release. So you had one other piece that you wanted to
Yeah.
showcase.
Well, so anyway, this was the button, right? See down here, this is the button.
Yes, that's right.
You could configure, there's a little, the checklist configuration. It defines this. What do you want this label to be called? And we paired the functionality. This is where it's more low code or even pro code. You have to do things like we added a reference to a user record, and we wired up or coded up our button to say, hey, if somebody clicks the button, we want to simply add this person as a checklist item. That's all I did. It's pretty simple. And we could look at that code maybe in the future or more advanced thing. But if I approve this, right, and then you come over here, it just says it did it. And if we now like refresh this thing, refresh it, there it is. So, this is the actual group. And like, for instance, if you wanted to sync with AD, we'll go ahead.
Mhm.
Use your integration hub and sync it with AD. So that's easy
wow.
to do. Yeah, Chris, one other thing related to PDF was this. I was going to show this W4 form. I think a lot of us here in the United
Mhm.
States are, use this with the government to say, hey, well, what's your withholdings for taxes and stuff like this. So if I put like things like, I'll just put a couple fields in here. I'll just say Thai, me, I'll say Germantown, Maryland. That's where I am. Yeah, over here. If I click there, and if I
I
click,
think you need an address. Is there a star
I
by
could,
Andrew?
I
Yeah.
could, but like I'm just taking a snapshot. So
Oh, sure. I
I
just didn't know if it was
show this
required,
real
but
quick.
keep going.
I click, yeah, let's go here. Save it. Yeah, replace it. And then if I open it, so there it is. So here's your fillable PDF.
Oh, and it just populates the values for you.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but what's interesting about the fillable one is you can see this this is a little bit, it doesn't look like this is what it actually looks like, the PDF. These are
Right.
fillable fields. Like it says, hey, first name. It actually, I wish it said first
Mhm.
name, last name. You wouldn't believe what this official form actually called it. And what
Yes.
Checklist Pro has is the ability if you wanted to rapidly create your checklist based on all of these fillable fields, you simply attach the fillable PDF to the checklist configuration. Actually, we can take a
Mhm.
peek at it real quick. We won't actually do it, but we look at this. Let's see. Good, I gave it a good name. There's our fillable PDF. We attached it to this.
Mhm.
Because it's already generated, it doesn't exist. But if you're just creating it and you don't have the template configuration already created, you click this UI action that just says generate your template from the fillable PDF that you've attached, and
Yeah.
boom, it'll generate it. To be
Right.
fair, I had to do a lot of cleanup. Like it just because it was the names that they gave.
Yeah. The quality of the PDF and the fillable PDF really, really matters here in the under the hood side of things. So sometimes you'll see people be able to do it in 5 minutes, and other times it takes a week. Uh, Mary's got one other follow up question.
Okay.
So she's run into a user that is using a checklist on a project task as their own personal to do list. But as they investigated further, they only found out that this was happening because the record has hit the max number of updates. Do you think Checklist Pro could perhaps help with something like that?
Yeah, I mean, like so you can have unlimited number of checklists. We have some that are we have some customers that have been running for what, 6 years now. And
Hmm.
I mean, big, large customers like 200,000 plus users, uh, pretty high volume. So, these tables grow, and
Hmm.
there's really no limit. And I think there was something that you mentioned there that I wanted to show. I actually have a project checklist here. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. So like here is, I actually took this off the community, Chris. I just found something.
Hmm.
Actually, it was a ServiceNow person that she has since retired. She's like awesome. I don't want to name drop her, but I talked to her a couple like 2 years ago when she first did this. I was like, I love this. By the way, I'm a partner, and we have an app in your store, and we digitize checklists. Can I digitize yours? She's like, really? You can do that? I'm like, yeah. You mind? And like, and so I just took her. So credit to her for this
Hmm.
checklist. It wasn't us, but we just took all that
And put it in here.
and
And then you'd be able to manage this and keep updating it for like a year, changing the values.
100%. Like, so what
Awesome.
this is actually the purpose of our own record, our check. This is our checklist record. So I
Right.
literally, went ahead and said create. You'll see the personal checklist. This is the way I do a lot of my testing. Create a personal
Hmm.
checklist that says, "Hey, project checklist," and that's what you'll see if you look at our conditions. Say, "Hey, that's what we're using to say which checklist are we going to create here." We popped it
Hmm.
on there, and you could say what the parent record is to apply. And the nice thing is, then people can work on the checklist. Maybe
Yeah.
they're not SPM role approved, but you want them, different people participating in some of this checklist work, and that's really been the value with our checklist record. So, and
Hmm.
it just lives. It's accessible on all the UIs, but in particular with people that may not necessarily have all the roles, like say SPM type roles,
Hmm.
project manager type roles. Who knows what project user they might? But there's certain areas that like maybe they're developers on certain tasks. They want certain. Hey, did you do this, that, and the other? Go into that
Right.
section, make your updates, and you can do all that. Yeah,
So not really advancing, say, a project workflow, but
not
contributing to data on it. No, that's great. Okay, you had one more thing that you wanted to show, the bonus item after the buttons, and then we'll have to move into the wrap up. So
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I think the bonus item was, or maybe I thought maybe what we do is give a little teaser of like what
Sure.
the new features are in 4.0, or did you want to?
So yeah, that's 4.0. So yeah, this is the sneak peek of
All
Checklist
right.
Pro 4.0. And
Yes.
Mary's given some feedback saying that this is awesome and she would love it.
Well, thank you, Mary. And by the way, if you go to our website, you can request, you can learn more about it, what customers are choosing, doing.
Hmm.
You can also schedule a meeting with us, and we will give you a demo, and we can give you access to your instance, put the checklist in your instance, non-production, and it's like a 30-day evaluation. So we opt in with that with the ServiceNow store. So please do take us up on that, and
Hmm.
we'd love to see if it's the right fit for you. Um, let's go here, Chris. I had something that I was testing with, which this is our 4.0 feature. My open, here's our CLP demo. I think this is the one. I'm in Workspace, so I'm just playing around with some of this stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, so okay, here, okay, this was a new features, right? There's this list. We had the reference field, which you saw.
Right.
Now we have a list of reference fields. So like here, like
Oh,
if I
yeah.
can, I can pick different. If I
So
knew
so like a reference field that's multi-select.
multi-select, right?
Yeah, nice. That's a
The list
big enhancement.
selector,
That's a big step in the right direction. Does it store like a common separated list of sysids in the back end?
it is, and we
Nice.
have a couple things because it's a little bit sophisticated. So it is it's we architected it in such a way that it wouldn't just blow up our checklist item table. We
Hmm.
weren't really sure how wide. I didn't want to have like this massive field in there, so we did a few things there, and we made some API. So it's really the list field is it refers to another one of our tables, our reference list table, and
Yep.
we have APIs that say give me all this, give me a sysid list or give me a display value list, and we have
Hmm.
corresponding flow actions that you can just do all this stuff and play to your heart's content,
Awesome.
for
Okay.
the list. Then there's finally, you can believe this, we didn't have date time for a long time, but we have the date
Hmm.
time fields here, and you can pick your values and off you go. And here's a
Hmm.
multiple choice. We had a single select choice list, you customize
Yep.
the choices. Now you can, this one is our what we call our multiple choice. And
Oh, that would, yeah. I just built an onboarding process where it's like check off all the hardware you need.
yeah,
That'd be
we
great.
got more. I have more ideas for, like, I want to do a password field, sort of encrypted. I want to do
Hmm.
that dynamic. I have this idea for a dumb. Okay, where's my safe harbor statement?
Safe harbor, safe harbor.
I'm
Yeah.
invoking it. Forward looking, but there's more data types. Some of them are a little bit more Checklist Pro nuanced. Like, remember we just saw that list of, when we looked at group member management, it showed all of our users as checklist items. I had to write some code in our scheduled job to do that, and in our button to do that. Well, I want to make that just easier for people to do. So in the future, I think we're going to have what I'm calling now in my mind this dynamic data type, which is really just a reference field, and it'll have some characteristics. Say what's the table, and then what's the field in the table that you want to show, and what's the string and the replacement and all. That's sort of what my vision for it. But I want to get 4.0 out, and this will be something like a 4.1 or 4.0.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's the sneak peek. Okay. Well, once again, thank you to everybody for joining us or watching it later. Really appreciate those that contributed to the chat. Always happy to answer a question, especially when you've got the creator of the app on the line. You can go straight to the source. Congratulations again on the new company, the new branding that's coming out. We'll have all of those links put into the description as they emerge. And best luck on 4.0, the release. And we'll have to keep doing this. There's just so many features to explore with it. So
thanks, Chris.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, this will end up being just that we'll cut its own side podcast. It's just this Checklist Pro one. And congrats on fourth app on ServiceNow store. Go out, check it out. Reach out to Ty, and they'll help you do that non-production install so you can examine it. They will also give you that honest feedback on whether or not it is or is not a good fit, and how does this fit into your overall ServiceNow strategy. So their vision is to help you succeed with the platform. Once again, thanks a lot. This has been myself, Chris, and Ty from Checklist Pro, and it is November 14th, 2025. Okay. Much appreciated. Have a great day, everybody, and I hope the only thing better